Okay, so looking at this section 8.1, we're gonna start looking at identifying slope and writing equations for the slope of a line. So whenever we see y equals mx plus b, that's another way of saying y equals mx plus b. You could say that the number in front of m would be the slope, and that b would be our y-intercept. So it says graph the linear function, and we have negative 2x plus 5. So we could say that our slope is negative 2, and then our y-intercept is 5. So if we wanted to graph that, I'm just going to do a very crude model here. But if we wanted to graph that, our y-intercept is 5. So we would go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put a point there. And now every time our slope tells us negative 2, that means that we're going to go down 2 and then over 1. So if we go down 2 and then over 1, our next point should be down here. And if we go down 2 and then over 1, it should go right there, giving us our final line. So now going through example 2, it says find the equation of a line with a slope of negative 4 and a y-intercept of negative 3. So this gives us our slope of negative 4 and our y-intercept of negative 3. 0 and negative 3, but that just basically means negative 3. So if we wanted to write this as a slope-intercept form, plugging that in would be negative 4x minus 3. Now, what if we had 2 points like we did in this example right here? So we could find the slope, and we could do that by using the formula y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So looking at the points, I'm just going to label them and say, okay, this is x1, so there's going to be y1, and then this is x2, so we're going to have y2. So plugging that into the formula, we should have 0 minus negative 1, and then 2 minus negative 1. Sorry, should actually be 0 minus 2 on the top. So 0 minus 2 on the top, and then 2 minus negative 1 on the bottom. So that's negative 2 on the top, and a negative and a negative means we're adding, so that should be negative 2 over 3. So our slope after all this should be negative 2 over 3. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to plug this into a formula that we call the point slope formula. Y minus y1 is equal to x, or sorry, not x, but m x minus x1. So we use this formula whenever we don't have the y-intercept. If we know the slope and a point on the graph, then we can plug it into this formula to find out the equation. So I would want to do 2 and 0. We could pick either one, but 2 and 0 makes it easier because we would have y minus 0 is equal to negative 2 over 3, and then x minus 2. So y minus 0 goes away, so all we're left with is y. And then if we distribute, we would have negative 2 over 3 x, and then negative 2/3 times negative 2 would give us positive 4 over 3, and that would be our equation.